Hello guys, it's Annie here. I got the surge inspiration to pull up some cards to, you know, try to make sense in a human way of everything that is going on right now in a global scale. And, you know, I just got guided to do this and I picked up some cards and I'm gonna interpret them for you now because I feel like there's a message that is important to share. So I'm gonna share that with you guys. So the first card that I got from the Magdalene Oracle was Surrender, which for me makes a lot of sense. Every time that we are faced with chaos, I feel like the call from God within is to surrender. And that doesn't mean surrendering that doesn't only mean surrendering to your own God within. It means surrender completely. It means even surrendering in a sense of surrendering to the fear, surrendering to the greatness of everything, and surrendering to all of the aspects of God and how God is showing itself to you, and how God within is showing itself and creating from any space that you provide. So once you surrender all that chaos, it just magically changes because it has no place to grow anymore. So I feel like this card makes a lot of sense. So it will make more sense. We will talk about them all as a whole, I feel like. Primarily who's here with me right now, just letting you know, is Mary Magdalene, and the messages are coming from her. So then the next one that came was Confusion, which can relate to surrender, as I said, chaos. And confusion is a call for looking deeper into whatever it is that you're escaping, whatever it is that we are escaping as a collective, whatever fear it is that we don't want to address, and then we feel confused. Every time you don't assess a fear or a feeling even, you become confused because you're not looking at it in its face, and you are not, therefore you are not creating as a conscious being, as a conscious God creator, and you're just letting whatever it is that is happening cloud your vision from God within you. I feel like that's what confusion means. So once you release all that with surrender, you are able to face whatever it is that is making you confused. So whatever fear it is that we are trying to hide, that we are trying to just neglect, or not only fears, but any kind of feelings, and everything that is within us is God. That's what she's saying now. So we should pay attention to all of those nuances of God within you. And that's where confusion starts, and that's how chaos starts. And I feel like a lot of us, we are seeing a lot of that. And the way to work with it is by surrendering, whatever surrender means to you. And yeah, that's all she says for now. Let me just leave it here, my pretty crystal. And then the next one that came was the resurrection, which might trigger people. Warning, because of religious matters, but that's not how I cognize it. It means being reborn, and whatever that means to you, however that applies in your life. And that's what this card is representing, that whatever confusion we're going through, once we surrender, and whatever surrender means to you, again, it doesn't need to be suffering, she says. Once you allow God to work through you, and once you allow God to show itself to you in every possible situation, and she is really highlighting all of those words, Every possible situation is created from God. And we create a perception of separation, that the ego is bad and the God is good, and or whatever it is that you call God, maybe the universe, or maybe whatever the energy force that creates everything that is within you is called for you. We try to discern between them as if they are polar opposites. But in truth, the ego provides you with opposites. It provides you with polarity and duality so you can create in a body on earth right now. But God is not separated from the ego. That's what she's saying now, is that we tend to try to separate God from the ego, and then we start judging. We judge God in each other, and we judge each other's egos, and that's how we create more and more confusion, and that's how we create more and more chaos. But once you accept that, no matter how things might look through the human eyes, through ego's eyes, God is creating everything, because there is no separation in truth. There is no one thing without the other. Everything is made from that same one God molecule. So how could the ego not be God? Everything you see, everything right now, she's pointing at crystal, she's pointing at this paper, everything is made from the same molecule. So how could we decide to judge one thing over the other and blame and point fingers if everything is God? So the resurrection here represents that opening, that clearing, that being reborn and allowing God within you to create with its vision, not neglecting the ego, but surrendering to the power of the ego that is also God. And she's saying that that message will also trigger a lot of people, which is fine. And again, once you allow yourself to see through God's eyes and to fully embrace God's feelings in your heart, and you balance that energy in your physical body, you are able to let go of that confusion and everything clears up. So the resurrection here represents what Earth is going through right now as a collective, that we are going through all of that together, and then we are being reborn. So that makes a lot of sense too. So I was guided to grab another deck. That's the dragon one. I forgot how it's called. Let me see here. It's Dragon Oracle Cards by Diana Cooper. It's very cool. And then I got this one, which is the Silver Lunar Dragon, that represents the rising of the feminine. And Miriam is explaining it now. It's not the rising as if we, as women, we are going to suppress men now, and we are going to walk over them, and we are going to pay them back for all the crap that they did. No, there is no sense of separation in what she says. It is the feminine within all of us, and the ability to come into balance and practice peace and harmony and cooperation, which is very important right now, and expand your causal chakra. So that's what the feminine energy represents on earth for us at this time. It is that ability to feel and to share and to show compassion. And we are just talking about rough stereotypes of those two types of energies, the masculine and the feminine. And by no means at all we mean that the masculine is bad. The idea that we formed of the masculine and then the meaning that we gave to it, we judge it as bad, but that's just a human conception. That's not what it means at all. It means that we as a collective, we are finally ready to have balance between that action and the take for action, the take for even technology and working and being in a human body and working with our own fire of creation, that is the masculine, we are ready to balance it with our emotions and how we express our emotions and how we cooperate and how we co-create with each other. So all of that resurrection, it is bringing forward that very important energy that we've been neglecting as a collective for a very long time. And she's not discerning between genders. That's absolutely not what it means. It's only those two polar energies that we carry in our bodies on earth right now. So it's very important to, she's saying that it's very important to not only feel your emotions, whatever they are, stay present with them, and um, allow them to be without restriction, again, surrender, and speak your truth, you know, and show how you feel and feeling safe in that. So again, that sense of safety, of protection, of whatever that means to you, that's the masculine. And we've been feeling like we needed to protect ourselves for a very long time. So there had been an imbalance in that. So it's a very powerful time to address our emotions and be in complete acceptance of them and being complete oneness with them. So if you're feeling sad, just be sad. You know, allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you feel. If you feel excited, just be excited. If you're happy, just be happy. If you're scared, just be scared, you know, and know when to move from that, you know, because if we are always, she's saying now that if we are always neglecting our feelings, we never learn from them. And they are compasses, you know, they guide you. So they are always serving you. But if we are always neglecting, oh, I shouldn't feel this way. Oh, I shouldn't do that, you know, because I feel this way. So I shouldn't say that I feel this way. If we're always doing that, we are never paying attention and we can never learn from them. And that's what it means. It's time for each and every one of us to allow that feminine to be more strong, I'll say, in balance. And I mean, with balance. With the masculine, you know, in us. Because if we do this work in each and every one of us, we change the world. That's what she's saying. So I got an Ascended Master one, and it was Horus. And it says, Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. So that's the first thing that he's saying now. He's showing up and he's saying that whatever energy you give to something, if it's fear or if it's love, you are still giving it energy. And your thoughts are very powerful. And now he's saying, I don't say that to instigate fear. And he's saying that he knows that a lot of you have just felt that. You know, it's like, oh my God, I was thinking about this or that. So am I going to manifest it? And he's saying that we are very creative and we manifest many things. But it's always in agreement with the way that we create as gods. So again, he's saying that everything comes from God. But it's very important to know that your thoughts, and he's adding your feelings, are very magnetic and very powerful. So that's why Mary Magdalene was saying that feeling what you feel is important, because once you allow that to be, once you become fully aware of a feeling, you can integrate it. And once it becomes one with you, there is nothing left. You won't perceive it as being other than you. And you are love. So you start perceiving things as love. So that's why it's so important to address your feelings, address your thoughts, stay present with them, have compassion for yourself through those processes, and know when to be done. Because your thoughts and feelings, they are very powerful and magnetic. And then he's saying that miraculous changes are occurring, and that goes with the resurrection thing, right? It's because it's such an important time for Earth right now that everything that we are creating as a collective is heading into that direction, that is expansion. And he was saying that our universe was created from that sparkle that first, the first was chaos. And then we started making sense of the chaos. because we became it, and then we saw it as love, you know? So he's just tying everything up, what we've been talking about today, which is interesting. I love Horus. And then I got Shiva, which is no surprise, right? And he's talking about transcendence here in the card. Love this image of him. Such an amazing artist. So now he's talking about how we are coming through, the situation, the global situation we are right now. And the feeling that he gives me right now, because he's way more of a being that is more quiet for me. He shows up and he gives me more of this feeling, and he just stands sometimes in front of me or behind me and just holding space. And I feel like that's what he's doing for all of us right now, is holding space as we go through this transition. And the feeling that he gives me is of hope, that everything is by design, and that God within each and every one of us does no wrong, and everything that we are manifesting as one now on earth, it serves a purpose. So he's saying that, I'm not even reading here, I'm just looking at him standing in front of me. Everything that we are going through right now, we created for a reason, and sometimes it's so hard to see because we are in the midst of so much chaos and so much suffering. So allowing yourself to feel that hope and to surrender to hope and to see through that. And he's showing me like we are observing Earth, and I asked them to do that for me. I asked them to show me Earth and show me the points of disconnection, and I could absolutely only see beauty and love, and I was very confused because it's hard to understand how we create the things that we do sometimes. So then I allowed myself to fully go and dive into the collective, the conscious collective of Earth right now. The inner child, I'll say, of each and every human being on Earth right now. And I felt so many things, but the most powerful one was hope, because there's a thing deep inside all of us that is telling us that this is happening for a big reason, and I feel like a lot of us have been feeling this for a while now. So that's what Shiva is telling me right now. So now I'll read. He's talking about rising up, honoring your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. So he's saying that means that we are co-creating this, and there is not one being that isn't affected somehow by global events, by a change in a transmutation and whatever it is from the collective, because we are part of the collective. And he's saying that now Hela is here. He's saying that sometimes we want to remove ourselves from, that's not mine, and that's not me, and that's okay too, because in truth, yeah, some of us, we didn't give that sparkle, of creation, but if we are on earth, we are living it, and we are one. So he's saying that it means that we are transcending the need to suffer, the need to see dark so you can shine your light. He's saying that we are both. And now he's showing me the moon again with this lunar dragon. He's showing me the moon, and he's saying that from Earth we can only perceive one side of the moon, but at all times one side is light and one side is dark. And that's us, and that's humanity, and that's creation, and that's living in a universe that is brought by those laws, those laws of creation. So the laws of reflection, for example. So yeah, he just got quiet again. So now he's saying to dance with the universe. So to dance with your creation, to allow it to move through you. And whatever it is that you're creating right now, and however that resonates with you, to know that you're being assisted and you're being watched, and the whole universe. Oh, he gave me just a beautiful vision now. It's like the whole universe is coming together to watch Earth go through a beautiful, beautiful resurrection right now. That's so beautiful. It's like it's showing me many beings, from all over the planet. Everyone is feeling, because once you change, he's showing me like the universe is a body, and each star and each planet and each satellite, it's a cell in the body. And he's saying that such as the body, once one cell mutates, everything else changes. And that mutation is beautiful and glorious, and everyone can feel it everywhere. So now he's giving us a message that stay hopeful. Don't let your hope die. And if you can, be the source of hope for others. And they don't often use that word, even hope, but he's saying that that's the best that he can convey right now through my vocabulary. And then the last one that I got was war and peace, which I cognize as an end of a war that we've been going through for a very long time, for like at least 44 years. That is a war within us. It is the changing of an era. And we've been talking about that in so many ways, and we all have different meanings and different words for that. Sometimes people talk about the 3D and the 5D and how everything is changing and all that. So however that resonates with you, the way I see it is that we've been in a war within ourselves, because we've learned to neglect some parts of us, and we've learned to praise some parts of us. And that just generates so much confusion, because it doesn't enable you to look within and within yourself with compassion and acceptance for your mission, for your purpose, for your demonstration on earth right now. And we decided to call some parts of us good and some parts of us bad. And the parts that are bad, we just try to push away from us, we just try to make them go away. And that's how we even create demons, So we separate from pieces of ourselves so much that we completely stop perceiving them as us. And we've been going through that for a very long time on earth right now. So it's time to look at those things, to look at your own dark side of the moon and feel love and show compassion to that. And I feel like that's what it means with the female energy, feminine energy, not female, I'm sorry, feminine energy. It's because all of those emotions, they are valid and they should be validated. So every time that we go through something that, oh my God, I feel so shameful, but I don't want to feel it. And then we distract ourselves. We go watch a movie, we go take a walk, we go fight with someone, we go, cope the way we can. Some people drink alcohol, some people do drugs, some people eat, we go into those vices. And instead of looking within and asking yourself, how is that shame serving me right now? Because if you created it, God created it. And it's there for a reason, because on earth we like giving meaning to everything. So why should we neglect the body, for example? Why should we neglect all the things that we deem as bad, as ugly, Why can't we just surrender to all of it and embrace it, Because if it's there, it's to God. There's no way that it isn't, because there's nothing that is not God. And whatever God is for you, spirit, the universe, don't mind me saying God, because that's how it comes from me, but it just means source. So we've been going through that for a very long time. And every time that we dive deeper in so many, even spiritual communities, is that we feel like we are not the body, so we should just whatever the body, and the ego is always bad, there's always the bad guy, and then we point fingers to all of those beings and we say that, oh, they are so ego-based, politicians and whatever that is, instead of looking within and seeing that, okay, I've called it bad for a very long time. I've called it ugly for a very long time, but it's there, and it's there for a reason, and it's there to serve me and serve our collective. So we are going through that process now, to look into all of those things and then to make peace with them within ourselves. It's not outside. It's not out there in your communities or in your country or in other countries. It's the thing that is within us that is manifesting outside. It is the disease that we've been all carrying for a very long time, that is not loving ourselves enough, not loving every aspect of ourselves. And it's time that it changes. So then we are so freaking powerful that we manifest it in a global scale because it's time. So the thing that I'm cognizing now from all of it is that we are all one. And it's very important to hold a space of compassion for everyone's truth, even if it's not your own. It's very important to be kind to yourself, to your emotions and your feelings, and to each other. Because that's how we create peace within us and then peace everywhere. So just take this time now. Now Yeshua is talking. He's saying just take this time now, if you are in quarantine, for example, to look within. To ask yourself, what is it in me that I've been neglecting for so long? What is it in me that I've been in war with? So you can make peace with it. So we can all be reborn. So we're not suffering anymore or scared anymore. And things will come and go, and Earth is so creative that we're always creating something new, and we would be extremely bored. That's the truth, right? We'd be extremely bored if we just let go of all of it. But still, we can hold the torch for each other. And I feel like that's the time to do it, to co-create as conscious divine beings, and to cooperate and to find harmony and peace within us first, so then we can express it outside of us. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. It's the first time that I do this, but I thought that they wanted to share that with you, so I would. So thank you. We'll see you soon.